God did not save Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from going in the furnace. You got to understand this. He did not save them from going in the furnace. By the way, right behind me, if you see that tower, and it's funny, I didn't even plan to do this, but I want to say this right quick. That tower behind me is a federal jail. It's a supermax. I was in there for many, many months. And I want you to understand this, that God is a God, and I think I'm going to keep that as the backdrop because I need to add context to this message, that sometimes there are things that happen in our lives and we end up in situations and we cry out to God, and I can relate to it because I did wrong things and I ended up in a horrible situation, and we pray, and I've heard people say, well, God isn't a fairy godmother, and you're right. God is not necessarily going to snatch you out of it. Some things you are never going to get over. You've got to come through. You've got to come through the fire. But God is a God who will keep you and deliver you in the thing, not from the thing. You got to understand it. Well, what's the difference? I'm going to tell you the difference. The difference is that sometimes you got to go through it to get to it. And God is not a God that he would lie, nor the Son of Man that he would repent. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had to go in the furnace. It was needful for them to go in the furnace. But in the furnace, God was doing something. He was shifting something. I often wonder, why would God have allowed the children of Israel for 400 years to wallow in the land of Egypt, 400 years to be in bondage? But it was needful. God was doing something. And only the way that God knows, he was orchestrating something. They went in as a family, but they came out as a people. And I need people to understand this morning that God is a God that is going to walk you through the thing. David said it was good that I was afflicted. It was good. It was good. It sounds odd, but he said it was good that I was afflicted because now I know your law. Sometimes it takes affliction. My mother was in the military, and she said that basic training was about breaking down the man, not breaking his spirit, but breaking his will. It had to, something's got to break. You can't make an omelet till you break eggs. There has to be a breaking. If the ground, think about it like this, the ground, if it's hard, the seed won't take. So what happens is there has to be a mechanism in which the ground is broken up before the seed comes in. And God is speaking to somebody this morning that there is a breaking that is going on in your life, but there is a blessing in the breaking. And I promise you, I did not plan this, that this right here behind me would be the backdrop. But like I said, right behind me, and I don't want to call too much attention to it, but right behind me, people walk by it every day. It's a federal courthouse, but that high rise is a federal supermax. And I need you to understand this because I was there many months. I wasn't there the entire 3.5 years I was in prison because I went other prisons, but I was there. That there was a blessing in the break. There were a lot of sleepless nights there that I spent. There was a lot of sad time. There was a lot of solitary and isolation, but there was a blessing in the breaking. And I don't believe I would be who I am today if I had not gone through the breaking. And I want to encourage somebody today that being blessed does not mean you're not going to go through stuff. If Daniel had it his way, I'm sure he would have never gone in that den. If Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego could have escaped the furnace from ever going in, I'm sure they would have. But there is a blessing in the breaking. And sometimes God will allow. You got to understand this. He does not orchestrate the breaking, but he will allow the breaking so that way he can do something great and phenomenal and spectacular in your life.